What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and this is an unboxing and review of the Nerf Accustrike Raptorstrike. Alright, you guys, this thing is awesome looking. I'm really excited for this thing. It really reminds me a lot of the Gear Up series back in the day, and that paint scheme was awesome, and this is a lot like that with the orange and black striping. Really, really cool. I hope they do more blasters like this, because this is just awesome in my opinion. And a very, very sci-fi looking sniper rifle, which is really cool, along with some really cool new 6-round magazines that are clear on the front and have kind of an angle to them. This blaster is also coming obviously with the Accustrike darts, and I think it comes with 18 of them. Those things are not cheap, so it's nice that they give you a few extras there. It also comes with a bipod, which is really awesome, and nice to have those extra features more than just the blaster and some darts and one magazine. So that's pretty cool that they give you an extra magazine and a bipod and really give you that full sniper kind of feel to this blaster. So the back of the box is showing you that it has this new pop-up sight, which is kind of an interesting choice to me. I think more of a scope would emulate more of a sniper rifle than this. This is more of a rocket launcher kind of sight, which is an interesting choice, but it's cool. It's something different, so that's kind of neat. It's showing you the bipod and kind of how it works. So the stock actually holds the 6-clip magazine, which is pretty cool, and then obviously you'll have a second one there in the blaster. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Okay, so you get your blaster, you get your bipod, you get your priming bolt, you get your 18 Accustrike darts, you get your extra 6-clip magazine, and you get some directions. Alright, you guys, let's go over some of the features of the blaster. This thing has a few. First off, the stock, like I said, holds a 6-round magazine. That's why you get 2. So that's pretty cool. It fits in there really nicely. We'll have to see if it works well with heavier magazines, but obviously it comes with this 6-round, so that's what it's meant to hold. Let me grab here. This will be a test. I have a 22 here. Yeah, so didn't work very well with that. That's a pretty heavy one, obviously. So it may not work well with like 18-round stick mags, but that would be kind of impractical to use back here anyways. It would be kind of in the way, obviously, if you're going sniper class with your bipod down and whatnot. It does seem to hold the 6-round magazine in there pretty well, so that's good. Moving up here, we have our little flip-up sight, which is kind of cool, and it has different levels for where you can aim, and you can line it up with your front sight there, and then you can kind of tilt it and get an idea of trajectory or whatnot with your little triangle guys here. So it's pretty cool, something different, and I think it's neat. Although there is absolutely no tactical rail on top, which is kind of an interesting choice. I mean, they definitely could have put a tactical rail right there, and then you would have had both options, which I think would have been cool, but they chose not to do that. I do think it's kind of neat to have this flat on top without a tactical rail, but I think that more people would probably have preferred a tactical rail, and I don't know. I'm indifferent, to be honest. So the grip is very comfortable. I really like it. The trigger pull is nice. I already have it loaded, so we'll shoot one off. Yeah, the trigger pull really nice. And the magazine release is kind of something they're doing now, which is right here, and that would drop your magazine right there, so you just push forward. And honestly, I think that's kind of nice. I like that, actually. It's not too close and jammed up. There's enough distance there between the trigger and the mag release, and I think I like that more than trying to find a mag release way out here. Moving to the bipod, which is pretty cool that they give you a bipod with this. Unfortunately, though, these do not spring out like you would think they would. Like when I push that, I'm like, why isn't it springing out? But you actually have to push it and then pull these down, and it just has that one position, either, I guess, 2 positions closed or all the way down. So that's what it is. But you really do have to use 2 hands to do it, which is kind of annoying. It'd be nice just to push that with 1 hand and it spring out, especially since the bipod is so far forward. That's kind of an inconvenience. but kind of neat. You have that bipod there and you can stand it up on something. And this is your jam door, of course, which is pretty typical to have in most Nerf blasters, which is good. You get a jam door there. It's very tight. A little bit difficult to open, but not terrible. It's good that it stays closed though, so that's nice. Obviously you have your bolt here, which is cool. Push that all the way forward to load your dart after you prime it. Now I have noticed that it is kind of weird, like to get it to actually chamber the dart. There's like some sort of, I'm assuming, lock or something in there that's making that kind of clunky, and I don't really like that. It's not as smooth as most bolt action blasters, and it's kind of weird. I don't know if that's just my model, but it's really hard to get it to push at that last, you know, half an inch. There is another button over here, which I'm not 100% sure what that does, but I'm pretty sure it's some sort of depriming button. So if you can't deprime your blaster, you can push that, and that will, I assume, allow you to deprime the blaster. There is also a priming indicator back here that's pretty cool. It is green, and then when you prime forward, like I said, well, that's weird, it just stays green. Okay, so it kind of goes to a forward green to a back green, which is kind of weird. It's kind of hard to tell, honestly, if it's primed or not, because it doesn't change colors. A lot of times the depriming indicator changes colors, like from black to red or green to black or whatever. But this it's green forward when it's primed, and then when it deprimes, it kind of pushes back into the blaster, if that makes sense. This, I guess, is a grip. It's kind of a reverse carry handle, which is kind of cool. And it's kind of actually a good place to hold the blaster. I kind of like that, actually. And then, because it would make sense to hold it way up there. So this is kind of nice. I kind of like that. It does have a sling point underneath here. So I'm not sure you would ever sling this blaster, but there is a sling point there at the front. This is kind of a sling point here, too, if you wanted to use that. Let's go ahead and go outside and fire this thing off, put it over the chronograph, and see what kind of performance we get. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and take some shots over the chronograph with the Raptorstrike here. I'm gonna do 6 with the Accustrike darts, and then 6 with the Accufakes, and then we'll do 6 more Accustrike darts. So we'll just kind of compare and see how those do compared to each other. 70. 67, 69, 68, 69, and 66. All right, drop that. Load this guy in with the Accufake darts. A little clunky prime forward there, and let's go. 63. 62. Duplicate 62. Duplicate 62. 64, 65, I think that was it. Yeah. All right, so I hope you guys can kind of see that. This is the priming indicator there, and it's showing green there, so it is primed. And I'll go ahead and take a shot here. 67, and now it is showing that it isn't primed. I mean, if you look back in there, you can still kind of see the green, but it's kind of like a vacant gap, and then it pushes forward and it shows green, if that makes sense. So go ahead and take one more shot here, or a couple more shots here. 68. So it seems like these get a little higher FPS than the Accufakes, but they all seem to go about the same distance. So whatever that means. 67. 67. The Accufakes were shot a few times. These are brand new Accustrikes, obviously, that came with the blaster. 68. And that's it. All right, let's go check out the ranges. All right, so we have a very, very tight grouping here. The shortest at 27. We got a little bit of both there. And then a bunch here, you know, up around 28 and 29. So That's pretty good. They all basically went the same distance, the Accufakes and the Accustrikes, and the Accustrikes, the two furthest were, well, there's one up there. So those were at 31 feet and one more up here at 33, which was the furthest. So, you know, pretty consistent, but actually pretty awful ranges there, unfortunately. FPS was right around 70 at the elite average. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, yes, I did not put the other end of the bolt on because I plan on modding this, and it makes it so much easier if you don't attach that side. So if you plan on modding yours, I recommend do the same. All right, we'll deploy the bipod here, which is not as easy as it should be. And then we'll go ahead and switch out our magazine with some of the Accustrikes there. Put those in. And we'll drop down here. We'll see what kind of ranges we get this way. I'm sure it won't be great. We'll put that up. There we go. Probably should have this on the other side, but it's all right. Let me switch it around here. This will make it easier. Oh yeah. That is just the weirdest thing. I think that was it, but we'll make sure. Yep, that was it. All right, let's go take a look at the ranges from sniper status. I think they actually went further, which is interesting. Yeah, they did. All right, because it was a slight angle, obviously, even from the ground. It's an angle up. All right, so that was just past 33 feet, just short of 34, right at 35. Just short of 41 feet, a little past 43, and just past 44 feet. So yeah, pretty good performance actually from the designed sniper status shots. But obviously you do have an angle there. You are on the ground, but you do have an angle, so that helps a little bit. And yeah, I think it's a fun blaster. I really like the look of it. Let's go back inside and I'll kind of give you my final opinion. All right, you guys, so I do definitely obviously think this is a gorgeous blaster. I love the paint scheme. I love the lines. The diagonals are really cool. The grip is really comfortable. They knocked it out of the park in terms of comfort and style. Now, I do wish that the stock might have been a little bit more comfortable. This is really flat and it's not as comfortable as I'd like, but it's definitely not terrible. I just prefer maybe the Alpha Hawk stock actually a little bit to this one. But this is definitely cool looking, and I like how it holds a magazine, although it is just a friction fit, and that causes obviously problems when you put bigger magazines in there. But this is a sniper rifle, so it's not really meant to hold like 18 round magazines, obviously. The bipod is a neat touch, although I really wish that they made these spring loaded. That would have been really cool if they just shot out and then you could do it one-handed, which would make sense, you know, way up here, because if you're holding the blaster, it's kind of hard. You have to move up here to, you know, push those out or whatever to get into position. The sight is kind of neat, and I don't really mind it. It would have been cool to have a tactical rail, obviously, so you could put a scope on it and make it a true sniper rifle, but, you know, I'm not too upset about that. The mag release, I like that. I think that's cool. Obviously, these 6-round clips are awesome. I love the way those look. The diagonal is really cool. I like that they gave us a redesigned 6-clip or magazine, what have you. Really is really cool, I think, and I like that a lot about it. Performance, obviously lacking. Very disappointed in performance. Would have loved to see this thing have more like long shot internals rather than Retaliator or Tri-Strike internals inside of it. So that's a little disappointing. I would have really liked to see a beefier spring and bigger plunger tube at least. So we didn't get that. And then the one thing that's really bothersome to me is, go ahead and shoot it here because it is primed, how clunky this is. It like gets there and then it doesn't want to go forward. It doesn't feel good at all. It feels really bad. I'm pretty sure that is some sort of lock causing that. I don't know if that's just my model or if that's consistent throughout the line, but I haven't had that problem with any other bolt action blaster that I can remember. I haven't had that kind of clunkiness. So I am hopeful that it's just my blaster, that it's some sort of like funky thing that's just going on with my specific blaster, but more than likely it is probably a problem with the lock, and is probably a consistent problem, at least with this first run of this Raptorstrike. So something definitely to note, and it does work obviously, but it just doesn't feel very good. Hopefully I can fix that when I mod it and take the locks out, and that is why I did not attach the other side as I drop it. But if you guys do plan to mod this, I highly recommend not attaching that, because you will have to claw hammer it off, and then it will basically break it, and you'll have to probably glue it back on, and then if you want to get it off again, it becomes even more of a problem, you know, what have you. So overall, I think it's a cool blaster. If you're going to spend 50 bucks on this, be prepared to not expect the greatest performance out of it, but it definitely is cool looking. It has some cool extras with it, with the 2 magazines and the bipod. I don't know if it's the best blaster obviously to come out, but definitely one of the coolest looking blasters to come out. It is in my probably top 3 best looking blasters to come out this year. And yeah, I think if you like the looks of it, you're okay with the lackluster ranges and performance, and okay with it probably having a clunky prime and what have you, pick it up. If I find a link, I'll put it in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button. And as always, peace out.